She stood outside the house holding a gift bag she bought with her part-time paycheck. Hair curled, dress pressed, smile trembling. 5 hours on a flight, 2 trains, a walk uphill in heels. And they didn't even let her inside. My mother opened the door halfway, like my daughter was a solicitor. Then she said it, flat, rehearsed, cruel. "We've decided you're not family anymore." Then the door shut, and my daughter just stood there, 15 years old, shivering in the wind. That was their 40th wedding anniversary. I didn't attend. I knew better. They never forgave me for leaving, for divorcing Martin, for raising my daughter without a proper father. Their golden boy, the man who fractured ribs when dinner wasn't warm enough. I chose peace over tradition. They chose him. But they kept pretending they'd be there for her. Birthday cards with no cash, phone calls when it made them look good. And she still believed in them, until that door. She called me, voice hollow. "Mom, they said I'm not family." I didn't say anything for a moment. My hands were steady. "Where are you?" I asked. "Just outside." I told her to wait by the mailbox, not to move. Then I hung up. Not in anger, in strategy. I drove in silence, not rushed, not boiling, just focused. They didn't know yet, but I'd already been watching them unravel. The signs came slowly at first. A passive-aggressive remark from my mom at Christmas. "You're lucky we still invite her." A comment from a neighbor. "I didn't know your daughter wasn't speaking to your parents anymore." Except she was. Until that day, she still sent them cards, still called every Sunday. They just stopped answering. Then the will came. They updated it without telling me. A copy accidentally forwarded to my address. Everything to Martin's son from his first marriage. Not my daughter, not even a photo mentioned. I didn't react. I scanned every page, highlighted every clause, made notes. Quietly. I waited. And when she told me she wanted to surprise them for their anniversary, I let her. Because some lessons are taught through heartbreak. Others are delivered through consequence. I arrived 23 minutes later. My daughter sat on the curb, still holding the bag. I opened the door. In. She climbed in, silent, wiped her cheeks. "Did you bring what I gave you last week?" I asked. She nodded and handed me the envelope. Inside was the deed to the lake house, their prized property, the one they thought they still owned. 2 years ago, I bought their debt, behind on property taxes, behind on their second mortgage. They thought the lender worked something out. They didn't realize I was the lender now. Bought the liens, took ownership, waited. Let them live in the fantasy. Until tonight. We drove the extra 6 miles to the lake. Their lights were on. Party music still playing. My daughter waited in the car. I walked up calmly. Knocked once, then twice. My father opened it this time. He looked surprised to see me. "Didn't expect you," he muttered. "No," I said, "but I expected you." I handed him the letter. Foreclosure notice, eviction order, transfer of title, all legal, all signed, all final. They didn't read it at first. Then they did, and the screaming began. My mom yelled something about betrayal. My dad shouted about, "How dare I?" But I didn't flinch. "You disowned your granddaughter," I said. My voice never rose. "Now I'm just returning the favor." They tried to grab the phone. "Who did this? I'll call a lawyer." "You can't." "Already did," I said. "Twice. The paperwork was filed months ago." "Where are we supposed to go?" my mother snapped. "Not my problem," I replied. "Just like she wasn't yours." I walked back to the car. My daughter looked at me, eyes wide. "Are they okay?" I looked her dead in the eye. "They'll survive, but they'll never forget what they lost." The next morning, the locks changed. By law, they had 72 hours, but they left in 40. The neighbor told me they packed in the middle of the night, shouting, crying, frantic. And me? I slept in. I never raised my voice, never threw a punch. I just used the truth, and the law, and their own arrogance. They taught me what family meant to them, so I showed them what justice looks like. Now the lake house? It's quiet, peaceful, ours. My daughter painted her room last week. Blue walls, new curtains, a fresh start. No ghosts here, just memories we choose to build. Some people say revenge is ugly, but this wasn't revenge. This was reclamation of her worth, of my power, of the legacy they threw away. And if they ever wonder why, they can remember the door they closed and the home they lost because of it.